Welcome to Drop Pod, episode 20. Welcome back to the channel. There's a lot of stuff to talk about this week, but first, Malastrome 15 has decided to grace us with his presence this episode.
I'm back. It's been 3 years. Did you know I was on half of the current episodes that there already are? I was on 10 episodes. Wow. Well, now 11 at this point.
Yeah, we dropped him.
The last one I was on was with Hunter, I believe. So I think he ruined everything.
Drop Pod. Forget what number it was. Drop Pod Live was the episode. Season 2.
Yeah, we
ran for 3 episodes.
We were doing it live. Yeah.
Ran for 3 episodes and then got canceled.
Damn, a terrible shame. Season 2 was something special.
I did like a lot of the episodes, all 3 of them. Season 2.
Man, I went back to listen to, I think our first episode we did together, which I completely forgot that like you did your little, pilot episode 0. And then I was on for like episode 1. And boy, yeah, we sure were cringe. I think you were saying in a recent episode.
Yeah, no, we posted cringe.
We definitely posted cringe.
It's like, I like to think of season 1 as a pilot in and of itself.
Yeah.
But Austin's back this week. There's a lot of news coverage to talk about. Just going to get this out of the way. There was initially not going to be an episode this week. I've decided against that after receiving flack, receiving some static, and then I was notified, yo, Aegis, this is probably the most terrible idea you've had in a while. You keep you strike the iron while it's hot, and you don't stop. Was basically the comment. So it was like,
yeah, because so far you've been keeping these, somewhat consistently weekly.
The algorithm doesn't like when you just haphazardly stop and then come up.
No, it does not. I was doing YouTube shorts. What was that? Last year, I believe, or earlier this year. This year's been long already.
For us.
But I was doing those consistently daily and uploading them at specific times, just stuff from my Twitch streams. But then I just I got busy with my work and stuff, and I just didn't have all that much drive, and I didn't have that much leftover footage. So like, absolutely, like staying on a consistent schedule is important. I'm gonna probably have to work some of that back when I start uploading again.
I think it'd be good to start the episode off. Just get this out of the way now. It's only the, biggest special event to have happened
Ever
this week.
Ever this week.
No, that's not true. The DNC happened this week, but nobody cares about that if you're watching this show. Or listening even. You want to get Monster Hunter out of the way now?
Sure.
You want to talk about Indiana Jones first?
It doesn't matter. I'm more curious of the things you thought was interesting from Gamescom opening night that just happened in Cologne, Germany.
Heavily biased or unbiased? Or heavily based.
Honestly, out of a 10, I was being generous. I gave it like a 6, but honestly, it was more like a 4 out of 10. It wasn't bad by any means, but I just didn't think there was a lot of things that particularly interested me. I know some, because I had live streamed it, and I know some other people in my chat were like, "Oh, dude, this game and this game, oh shit."
Runs on until the weekend, no?
Well, the whole event's going on, yeah, and there's going to be additional like Monster Hunter Wilds.
I don't think
gameplay.
Day one is going to be a slow burner. I thought it was cool that they announced Dying Light, and they're bringing back Kyle Crane from the first game. So I wonder if Roger Craig Smith is reprising his role.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. Because I was like, I thought that was Chris Redfield, Roger Craig Smith. But no, and then I remembered, oh wait, the two of them from the separate games, like 1 and 2, they're different characters, but they sound exactly alike.
You think so?
I I thought it was Roger Craig Smith again when you streamed the second game a long while back.
I
thought that was just him again.
Very interesting. I was like, it would have been a younger Roger Craig Smith then. But yeah, this one goes back and delves into, well, what if he actually survived all of that nonsense? Because I think that was something. I'm going to spoil a really old game, but what happens if you're the best you can be? Is basically how that ending is, but it doesn't matter if you're the best you can be. You following me?
No,
right.
I didn't play that one.
So you do an ending and you think that you're doing everything in your power to make sure it's the best ending possible, but then the game is like, no, what does that matter? So then this
is for Dying Light 1 or 2?
For the first one.
I thought you kicked the guy off the building in a QTE battle.
Oh yeah. You don't just.
There was more to that.
You don't just go home after that, no. No, you don't kill the bad guy, and that's it. No, there's still the wake of what the bad guy was doing.
That's all I knew. It's just everybody only talked about that part with the ending. I didn't think anything else really happened.
Despite you winning against the bad guy, you still ultimately achieve the bad ending. Was basically what happens at the end, and it's one of those very like sour sort of endings, because you felt like, okay, I did everything right to the book, to the letter. I made sure I didn't do anything wrong. It's like, no, we're still going to kick you in the teeth because, well.
Do you become a Zamble?
Oh yeah.
Or do you? Oh.
So it's cool that they're going to delve into that. And if you notice during the trailer, he's kind of like skulking like through trees, and he's like really mad at these people for what they've been doing. It's going to be a cool thing to like delve into of like what happens and how he's trying to gain his humanity back and stuff like that. So I'm going to look forward to that one. I'm very cautious of games that have like free running in them, like Perfect Dark. The reboot had its trailer during the summer. Super Slam.
Jeff Keighley's SummerSlam Game Jam.
A couple months back, and the trailer looks neat. I don't think anybody was really asking for another Perfect Dark game in this day and age, but the trailer looked neat. Unfortunately, any game that shows its parkour, in quotes, in a cinematic, I'm already kind of worried about in terms of like, is this going to be like on rails? Do I have to go on like the in quote Capcom approved railing to initiate the parkour? Or is this? And then,
no, they'll just have you lazily walk off rooftops onto other rooftops. Like they'll just fall like a concrete brick. Like you're playing Time Splitters.
Yeah, I thought that was good. I gave the comment earlier in the Discord that I thought it was kind of odd that they already had Borderlands 4 kind of like in the pipe, So,
Oh man,
I think they thought, that movie was going to do numbers
right after the movie.
So it's really going to be interesting if I hope for everything that is holy, because at the end of the day, I don't like seeing games fail, even if I don't really care for the franchise. Like this year has already been kind of crazy enough for game development at large.
Yeah, you make one misstep and then you're just fucking dead.
Literally.
Also, just for those who are unaware, somehow there was a Borderlands movie it released and it fucking flopped so badly. I think it's one of the worst performing movies in Hollywood. Is that true?
That is true. It's approaching the record, and it's definitely head turning, because they had that in the pipe and that bombed, and then just a few short weeks after that movie released, there's Borderlands 4 at one of the biggest game release events that we're gonna have this year.
And there's somebody out there thinking like, oh, they had this plan, they just threw that out there, and like now they have to make it. It's like, no, I'm sure they have something already in the works. I think people are probably more fatigued with Borderlands than anything.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I myself, like, I played the first game back on the 360. I tried to start up the second game numerous times with different people on PC several times. And it just never went anywhere. And overall, just my whole opinion is just big numbers game, and holy shit, the fucking comedy in that games are just awful. Oh no, I hope the thing doesn't happen. I hope that doesn't happen. Oh no, it happened. How could it happen? It just happened.
I'm really curious what lessons they're taking from Borderlands 3. That little offshoot game that they did, Tiny Tina's Wonderland, apparently that did better than Borderlands 3 did. I believe that without even having to take a look. But
it's because it feels like more of a unique idea, even if it's just, like a D&D tabletop sort of a thing.
So Borderlands 3,
it's not like the same exact thing that the past like 4 games have been.
Borderlands 3 came out 2019 in September. This game is slated to release, Borderlands 4 is slated to release in 2025. Borderlands 2, that came out in the 360 era. So, I mean, that, couple of console generations, 2012.
Yeah. Wait, it say Borderlands 4 was supposed to release in 2025?
Oh, yeah.
And they only showed a cinematic that like literally said nothing at Gamescom. Oh. I feel that's not a good sign.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so from 2012 to 2019, you have Borderlands 3 going from 2. And in just a few short years, you're getting Borderlands 4. That was already with a spin-off game in between that. So I don't know about that one. It's slated to launch in 2025. I'm assuming Unreal Engine 5 can only go so far with the Borderlands aesthetic. So maybe the development time was less steep than what they were anticipating. But
it's going to be an art piece, a poorly made art piece. It's like, no, it's supposed to run at 5 frames a second. What do you mean?
One of the big takeaways is that your player base is a lot older, and I think fatigue is a good, selling point or tagline in general of like what people would think of a franchise that storied. It's like, yeah, people are going to be fatigued. Your highest grossing fix, in quotes, for the game is how to remove the audio because the dialogue is that bad.
Yeah.
I had mentioned this last episode where it's like, I had audio issues with the game, and the first thing that comes up is like, yeah, okay, here's how to fix it, and then it's just literally turning down the voice in the settings, and it's like, I don't know, I don't know about that.
I think what could save that series from fatigue is probably just maybe stopping the series and just making like an adjacent series, like how they did for Tiny Tina's whatever and who have you. Just do that, but just have it be its own thing and not like a D&D setting. Just have it be like its own fantasy setting, just a new thing, a new IP, unheard of. But like just it's Borderlands. I think honestly that probably would work if people really enjoyed Tiny Tina's whatchamacallit.
Borderlands never had its own like Renaissance period or like its reboot period. I think that would be like a good chance to like try it. You don't have to go too out there with the Borderlands aesthetic is pretty unique to it. So I don't think you'd have to change much about that. But it's obvious that people don't really care much for the corny dialogue. A lot of the reviews are for the movie are saying like, yeah, Borderlands is comedy. It doesn't translate well to a movie, let alone the cast that you had.
I think part of it too is they were trying to get back like the Jumanji 2 cast or something. That's why you have like so many of the characters from that or actors from that playing characters in Borderlands.
That is wild that they thought that would work.
Like, is it Kevin Hart plays the soldier guy from the second game? Yeah, he's like supposed to be a serious guy, and they casted Kevin Hart. I heard that guy stiffed your dad.
Many a time. Jack Black, he got a raw deal, accepting that.
Who the hell was he?
Claptrap. So I think
that sounds weird just saying. Claptrap. Oh God.
Yeah, I mean, he must be a fan of the franchise. So of like, yeah, no, I'll be a part of this. But that's Borderlands in a nutshell, and we know nothing of Borderlands 4. Wasn't even aware that this was even going to be a thing until literally today.
Yeah, because as Jeff Keighley, God and Savior, said, we kept it under wraps. It wasn't leaked. We pogged.
Yeah, no. That's about it for me. I mean, yeah, I'm interested in Black Ops 6. They showed off one of the campaign missions, and
it sure looked like another Call of Duty game.
It sure did.
I found out, or I didn't realize until recently how many Black Ops games there were. Like I hear Black Ops 6 and I'm like, that doesn't sound right. I thought there was like maybe 4 at most. When did that happen?
Guys, Black Ops 2 wasn't that long ago, I promise.
You guys remember Black Ops 1?
I sure do. When men were men.
I play that one. I watch the YouTube series.
I was around, I was still playing Gears of War 2. Halo Reach. Battlefield 3 was just like on the horizon. Oh, that was my jam. That's mainly it. The campaign was shown because we got a little snippet of zombies like 2 weeks before. And they gave us a little snippet of the campaign, which more of a story-driven guy for shooters. So it's like, oh, that looks neat.
I mean, I know at least Black Ops stories are better than, most of the other like Call of Duty storylines.
I would say so.
I mean, just judging from if that was the last game or the one before that, I don't know at this fucking point. Whichever one lets you like choose your own adventure and ending, basically.
That was Cold War, and fun fact, that wasn't even meant to be made by Treyarch, the folks that make Black Ops. They handed that project to him.
Yeah, somebody in my chat said that earlier.
Is there anything that you were interested in?
There was that I think last Berserker game or first Berserker game. I forget the name of it.
Yeah,
but they shown that up before. If not at the last showcase at Jeff Keighley's SummerSlam Game Jam, then it was at the Game Awards, I think. But the art style for that looks fun. It looks kind of neat. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 was shown again, and everybody yet again recommended that I play that. And yeah, it's probably right up my alley. It's just a huge game, especially if I were to stream it. If anybody knows my streams here, then I play shit so slowly. It's not even funny.
I was streaming it last month. Got maybe the same distance that I get to every single time I try to reopen this game, and then I'm like, oh, that was so fun, and then other things come up, and then I stop. It's like the game is so good. I just wish I'd like just sit down and just like finish it though.
I really appreciate like all the immersion it has, and especially just like the dialogue. Like it doesn't have to be all action focused at all, and they're just sitting there just talking for like 5+ minutes at a time, and I'm like, this is fucking perfect. This is actually incredible.
Really impressive, and it's well
written.
That they did all of that on CryEngine as well. It's like that's kind of a feat in and of itself.
I didn't even know that.
there have not been too many role-playing games developed on CryEngine.
Yeah. I didn't even know
that. Yeah, I was wondering if it was like in-house at first, but then I remember I had launched it. So, in fact, that was the game that made me buy my NVMe drive.
Oh.
And when it came out, and I was not able to it would take at least 2 minutes to load to the main menu, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be sick when it loads.
When it loads.
I was like, okay, well, I think this is time for me to get an upgrade.
Fucking playing your text adventure back in the 80s. It'll be fun when it loads up. Then it beeps in your ear and it screams.
I'm trying to search up this last Berserk game because I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I think it might have been first Berserker. In addition to that, though, I guess, it was just there's Monster Hunter Wilds. That was the main thing I was there for. And I was really, really, really hoping for like a demo announcement. But we haven't gotten that yet. Although there will be more gameplay showcased over the next 3 days at Gamescom. There will be, stuff uploaded. But from the little 2-minute trailer that we got, they showed off a new monster, which is like a big old spider. It's like somebody in my chat pointed out that the name, I think it was it was a name. Lala Barina is its name. And they're like, oh, it's I think it's an anagram for ballerina. I was like, yeah, no, that makes sense just in the way that it moves. Which, like, looking at that, and like, you've played Generations Ultimate at this point, so like you've seen, the big spider Nursilla. Yep. And it's like going from that,
that's my girl.
That is the last spider we had. Going from that to that in Wilds, and just seeing Wilds, it's like, it's so hard to believe that it's Monster Hunter. Because it looks and feels just so different, but like it's the same.
It's a really cool render.
Oh, absolutely.
There's going to be so many plushies over.
It's gonna be such a fantastic game.
I reckon we'll get the demo in December. That's what we think.
I would, yeah, I would say that's probably fair. That's what I was kind of assuming towards the end of the year, maybe.
I think they did the same for Wild. Or sorry, World. Wow, Jesus.
I can't remember if World had a demo. Is the thing.
Oh, yeah.
I honestly don't remember.
Oh, yeah.
It did?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because I know Rise did. I just couldn't remember if World had one.
What was cool about Rise's demo is that one was co-op.
That's true.
It was pretty neat.
Was Worlds not? Was it just single player?
When I tried it, it was single player.
Oh. Yeah, because Generations Ultimate, the game before World, 4U, I believe 3U. That's 3 Ultimate, 4 Ultimate. For those not in the know. I know those all had demos. Yeah, I guess I completely forgot World had a demo. Maybe I didn't try it out. I'm not sure.
I think that's going to be like the smash hit when it comes out, because I don't think we're getting anything too big next year.
Technically, or no, Path of Exile 2. That was another thing that was shown, I think, briefly. Path of Exile 2. Does that go into early access and then just it's there, or is that actually like releasing next year?
It's going to release next year. It's going to be in closed beta up until then.
Well, there you go. That's something.
I don't think. I mean, yeah, it's Path of Exile, but I don't. No shot that's beating in terms of I guess hype. I don't think that's going to be Monster Hunter.
No. I mean, if we're talking levels of hype, then no, Monster Hunter Wilds is currently like way the fuck up there. Though I don't think it'll beat Black Myth Wukong. Have you heard how crazy that is doing on Steam?
I hear a lot about it. There's just a thing about like
Chinese people rolled out in droves and were like, oh boy, the monkey is getting a huge game. We're all so there. And then everybody else joined in too. And they said, oh dude, we're so there. So much to the point that it is currently, last I checked like 8 hours ago, the 3rd most played game on Steam ever. And as of now, of course, too, it's the most played single player game on Steam. Beat way the fuck out Cyberpunk.
I'm waiting to see
Elden Ring.
The reviews of it. The game is still very much fresh. It didn't seem like there were many like review copies handed out for this game.
I saw a little bit of stream gameplay earlier today, and it looked about, what the trailer's kind of shown, which like all the art designs in a game and like through the trailers that I've seen look fucking phenomenal. But somebody described the combat sort of like aggressive in the style of like Neo. So if it's like that, and I'm like, all right, yeah, I'm kind of fucking in there. But yeah, I'll probably just wait for reviews and stuff. Like I'm not going to jump the gun on it or anything, but I am curious.
I like Wukong.
Potentially try it out at some point.
Like I think its mythology is like really cool. It's just there's been so much like speculation behind this game, and here's the thing. Also, I forgot something to mention, but I'll get to that. But here's the thing. Wukong is fucking big in China. Like
that's all China has.
It's all China has.
That's their only thing.
That's their export. So it's like they'll come out for Wukong anything. Warframe turned into to one of the best international multiplayer games because of Wukong being in the game.
Oh.
So I think, and then Dota followed suit because they were like, oh, well, this is happening, right? We'll put Wukong in our game, sure.
Wukong spotted.
Yes.
Ensue a riot, please.
It's to the point where a lot of people get like really tired of like seeing Wukong and stuff, but I think Wukong's really cool.
Because that's all China has.
Wukong is so cool. So you can't hate him. It's the Monkey King. It's hard to hate him. If you hate him, you're not living the human experience, and it shows. The thingy I forgot was that they also showcased Mafia 4, which I'm actually excited for. I think that was kind of cool that
yeah, right at the end is like their last this is the last surprise.
I don't think anybody's really excited for this game, but I think especially because of just the way the series has been handled, I think the remaster for both of the... That's not fair. I think Mafia 3 also had a remaster, but for at least the first two games, they were handled pretty well, all things considered.
I didn't even know they remastered the second game. I know the remaster for the first game went really well.
Oh, yeah. I think it came out in a triple pack.
Okay.
When I initially bought it, I'd only streamed and played the first game because that was the one that kind of started the whole thing. And it was cool just going through the redesigns of the levels. The only thing that I really don't like, I explained this on stream, but Mafia 1 had that like really, really terrible racing level. Like everybody hated that level.
It's impossible not to mention that when talking about the game.
So much so that I remember explaining this when the game had released. I was telling everybody when I was coming up to that level. So guys, we're about to get to the racing level. Now, I was looking on Twitter, and you know it's bad when the developers already have to apologize on behalf of this thing. It's not even out yet, but they already apologized because they want to stay faithful to the game. Here's the level. It's like that racing level was so bad. It was terrible.
The actual solution probably would have just been remove the entire level.
I don't think anybody would have minded.
Honestly.
But I think it's cool that Mafia 4 kind of goes back to say I've never seen that in one of these like mafioso games where they actually focus on like Sicily as an element. I almost said Cecilia, which also wouldn't have been incorrect, but
I think it's an interesting setting.
I don't think there's ever really been a game in that area, so it's cool that. Well, actually, no, it's not true at all. Mafia 2 started you off in Sicily because you were.
Oh, did it?
You were a soldier for the American GIs fighting in Italy, specifically in Sicily.
Oh, I don't even remember that. I played Mafia 2 back on the 360. No, I didn't. I don't remember that at all. I just remember the outfits in that game sucked. Starting out,
I just remember the Playboys.
He had a bunch of sweater vests.
The Playboys messed me up as a child.
The Playboys. Yeah.
You'd walk around and you collect one Playboy. You walk around some more, collect another one. I was like, oh, they put women in this game. What?
I love women.
Yeah, but that was like a small, that's not even a slice of the pie. That is just the greater Sicily area. And I think that's just kind of neat that they're actually going to show that off.
Now, would you say that it was a good last reveal for the event? Because I feel like it wasn't. Like, I feel like it was very like, oh, okay,
biased cool. Or unbiased.
All right. Your opinion. Sorry.
Biased. I'm gonna go. Oh, it's just my culture. Oh, yeah. Well.
Oh. Well.
Unbiased. I'm gonna be real with you, G.
Oh, he hates it.
I think that was stupid. Because Because I mean, you could have easily any other game that was like, that had that like woo factor. You could have easily swapped that out. I mean, like Black Ops 6. I mean, everybody's gonna laugh that up. You could have showed that at the end. Yeah. It's like Mafia 4. Nobody asking about no Mafia 4.
No, they could have showed Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3. Again. No, well, not again, but they did that with Part 2. It's like, oh, her world premiere. Oh, I'm so excited. And it's just Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2. It's like, oh, yeah, we knew this was coming out. Thanks.
It's just not a good move. I'd have put anything. If you would have known that the crowd was going to react a certain way, maybe they thought the optics were going to be different for them.
Here's the thing. Did you have the chance to watch the entire showcase?
I had to catch bits and pieces and look on my other monitor.
So, they announced towards the beginning, Goat Simulator Remastered. I
did see that.
And it's like the initial trailer for it was like very like intriguing because it was like a lot of old game references. And then it just winds up being Goat Sim. And it cuts back to the audience after it's like done. And nobody's clapping or applauding or anything. Nobody's cheering. Like, and one of my viewers is German, and they're like, "Oh no, this is just accurate for how German culture is. Like, you will not see them clap for anything." So, like, when they do go out there and actually clap, then that means something. Like, they clapped for I'm not sure what his name was, but that new series that's coming out, a Secret Level, I think. It's an Amazon series, like CG series. It's like a bunch of big brand names. I think it's supposed to be like each series gets its own like little side episode or something.
A revolutionary
it looked very good.
Anthology. Titled Secret Level, like the series will feature 15 episodes of original short stories set in the worlds of classic video games such as Armored Core, D&D, and Spelunky.
Yeah, I think Kratos was in New York, but I can't confirm that.
That sounds neat. So that was day one of Gamescom, and I think there should be some good stuff going into the week, because I was gonna say, wait, there's no shot that this is only like a 1 day thing.
Yeah,
no,
it's like it's kind of like an E3 event.
Yeah,
but if there was apparently I was told that I missed out on like some really good pre-show trailers for like some weird games.
No.
Like I checked Twitter as I was starting up stream earlier, and I saw just like some screen grabs from some of them. I was like, oh yeah, probably should have caught that earlier.
There'll be chances for that, sure. Oh, here's the part where I have to get this segment out of the way, but before I do that, I have to do the cutaway. You want to do the cutaway, Austin?
All right, now. Drop pod.
That's perfect.
Or for those uninitiated, we used to be dump ass cumcast, but now we're the dumbass slutcast. We're so back. Season 3, baby. Let's go.
This segment is going to be brought to you in part by Arrowhead Studios and Company and Development Team. I just want to touch on this just a wee bit, because the amounts of turmoil that the players are going through, looking down on them, bird's eye, satellite view. You'd have thought that they're being held hostage.
Was that all?
Oh yeah. At the time of this recording, they had released an update today to alleviate some of the player frustration and somehow made things even worse. And I've been there many a time before. A lot of players are upset with just the constant ragdolling.
What else is new?
The new enemy type they had introduced, which was a reshoot of an enemy that was in Helldivers 1.
Is that the tentacle?
Yes. This enemy can basically stun lock you, and stun locking in this game basically means that they're going to throw you across the floor like Bambi. And a lot of players are upset because the radius in which these tentacles can actually attack you seem a little too big, and there's no counterplay to it because you get up and you're just going to get ragdolled again, even if you have enough time to like shift to the side or shift away. It's like, no, it's still going to catch you. So they introduced an update today to kind of alleviate that. The tentacles can still do what they do. Secondly, they had introduced a fix that made the flamethrower a little less ass, as people are not too pleased about the flamethrower in this current environment, sandbox.
Did they change it again? Because I know they had
changed it again. It wasn't a buff. Believe it or not, it was just a fix to make it a little more forgivable. Not a buff. Somehow made the weapon even worse. The fix, the engine runs in such a way where if an enemy is away from the character, the resolution of that enemy, which is kind of a genius way to do it because there's so many enemies on the screen at any given time. But if an enemy is far away from you, the resolution actually gets smaller. You won't notice this in everyday play, especially because there's so many enemies around you. But the fix was the flamethrower would have problems shooting an enemy that far away because the resolution and their pixel density is getting smaller and smaller. So they were like, okay, we've introduced a fix that would allow the flamethrower to actually hit those targets at further ranges. And not only did it not do that, but you're barely able to hit targets that are within the flamethrower's regular range.
Oh, fantastic.
So a lot of people are livid. Arrowhead had to come up today to say, yeah, we kind of rushed that out. Problem being is that a lot of the Arrowhead devs are doing damage control right now, especially coming back. And imagine that shit. You were on break. Now you just came back from break. And now you have to deal with the massive, storm piling up against you. Like, hey, a lot of people are very unhappy with the way the game has been going lately.
It is how it goes.
And supposedly, so a lot of the developers were, again, on break. That would include Johan, the now new game director for the game, rather than just Arrowhead's CEO.
Yeah.
He was on break, along with other senior staff of Arrowhead. They were on break while their big update patch was being developed. And then the update shipped. And there was no, there was no intermingling with the senior staff to the people that were just working on the update. So then the catharsis became, you guys probably shouldn't have done that. Actually, probably should have waited for us to get back. Now you just created more work for us to try to right the ship. So then they released a patch today to kind of just hope, okay, well, hopefully some of this will at least stoke the flames a little bit. And what happened is that they just ended up putting oil on an oil fire. So it's an uphill battle for sure.
I mean, with the player base still, pretty big. Yeah.
And it's like, I really believe their whole tagline of like, a game for everyone is a game for no one. But I think that their internal philosophy on like game design is so out of band and out of tune with what like the players of the game are like just requesting. Like, and I, you know, to an extent, I felt this too. Like, I felt like most of my weapons, like my primary, my secondary weapons, I felt like if I was just trying to play the game, those weapons were, for the most part, useless up to a certain you know, extent.
Yeah. Yeah. I still haven't gone back since like everybody was playing. But yeah, I can definitely agree with, yeah, sometimes the stuff just didn't work that well.
And right now the community's at a point, which I definitely felt like this, where you bring a weapon, especially if it's like something from the new War Bond or whatever, and it's like you're looking and you're sizing up the, you know, the squad of enemies that you see in front of you, and it's like, I don't even want to shoot this at them because now that's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
There was a post, and I had posted this maybe first month of the game being out, but there was a post on the Reddit talking about, I think I cracked the code of what this game wants you to do. Literally, don't fight anything. Just don't fight nothing.
Just stealth around everything.
Yes, yep. And there would be another post, and both of these posts were doing pretty good for themselves. But the second post was like a counteract to that post saying, hey, that's good, man, that you, in quotes, cracked the code, but that's not a fun way to play this game. That's not what they want you to do. Like, yeah, it might be cool for like the one guy that, you know, wants to play the stealth guy. Okay, whatever. For everybody else though, if I bring a gun in there, I expect the gun to do what I think it should do in order to function.
Now I'm bringing my friends into the action horde shooter so we can lay on the ground.
Literally.
The whole time.
So yeah, you can run around the map and not, yeah, all right, whatever. The rest of us, we just want to shoot some stuff, have a good time, and feel like the weapons that we use actually matter.
But when are they going to make Thief co-op?
Well,
that's a good idea. Write that down.
It's a good idea. If I were smart enough and had the know-withal to work on something like that, yeah, sure. But I think with Stalker Anomaly that got a co-op mod, I don't see why not. I don't see why Thief couldn't get a co-op mod soon.
Oh yeah, I forgot that did.
I just don't see why not.
I mean, shit, Stalker's engine is held together more with duct tape than, you know, Thief's.
Say the name.
Drop Pod.
Starts with un.
Unbelievable.
No.
Undead Nightmares. Until Dawn.
No. Unreal Engine 3 is what that engine was for Thief. And I believe...
Whoa.
Sorry, Unreal Engine 3 for Thief.
Taffer.
I don't remember what engine Thief 1 was on. That's kind of a problem because I recently played Thief 1. I'm pretty sure you recently played Thief 1.
I did. And Thief 2.
Correct.
And then Thief 3.
Correct.
Which I was close to beating. I got to the clock tower and then I moved on to other things as I do. And then at the point now that I'm at, I built a new PC.
Dark Engine.
So yeah, that's the one. So I'd have to probably restart and plus remod that, which like with the Thief fix they have for Deadly Shadows, it's such a pain in the ass. Because like sometimes it works and then sometimes it won't. And sometimes, yay, finally I install it and then it's fine. But that game still feels awful to like actually play.
Deadly Shadows?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's a It's a third person game with first person controls, but you can also play in third person. And you move like you're in third person with like the heft of the world. Versus in the second game, you're just, or at least in the first game anyway, you're bunny hopping just through levels at the speed of light.
Unreal Engine 2. Will I let it go? No.
Never. Allegedly.
My crusade is my own.
Hey, speaking of crusades and demons and devils and Diablo and the fourth one, I'm surprised you didn't mention that earlier because they added like 4 new thingamajigs.
Well, I think we picked the meat off that pretty well, like the past dev streams and everything else that's been going on. There are people hitting me up like, "Hey, did you see the class reveal today?" Like, we've known about the class for a whole year now. But did you see
they added 4? I didn't know about that. Not that I care, but I don't know. I figured you would have said something about it.
Did you see the story beats for the... Yeah, I've known for a whole year.
If you messaged him in the past 24 hours, he hates you.
Correct.
I have more interest in Path of Exile too, if as they are with the controller improvements and making that game play more like a game instead of like you hit the button and you win. I think, as you've said before, I'm more interested in playing that kind of a game, like an actual hack and slash, than just I hit the button and then I won.
That's what ARPGs are. But yeah,
I rotate my skill and then I won.
PoE 2 is going to be a definite video game. Not much buzz because, I mean, they've been putting a lot into it and now they're just in the closed beta phase, which we won't hear anything about. Just kind of unfortunate. PoE 1 had the open beta that you had to apply for, so it wasn't really open, but me and Steven had played that like years ago and thought that was like oh, this game is going to be the Diablo killer, and then it literally was.
I'm certainly interested to at least give it a try, if possible.
We'll see if we get an open beta. I don't think we will. I think they're going to keep that under wraps until it's time for the game to launch. But I knowing the current state of Path of Exile, I mean, no, they got every one of those cats dedicated to working on PoE 2 right now.
Yeah, I'm sure.
They got the B team kind of just like, all right, guys, damage control, just keep them happy. we promise you will be rewarded. I don't know what's going to happen with PoE 1. Come time to...
It'll implode.
Hopefully not. What I do like is, and I keep mentioning this, which I hope that at any game that goes the way of live service, and it's about time for your live service to move on. I at least appreciate that PoE 1's cosmetics will transfer over to PoE 2, because I feel like there's so much sunk cost in this game.
Oh, that's nice.
I know for a fact I spent $300 on this game alone, which is like psychopathic behavior, but you know, you take that much compared to a lot of other people.
Is that probably the most you've spent on like in-game purchase things for a game, or is that Dota?
I'd say Dota. With PoE, it's more like, you know, $40 for the supporter pack for that current league, which would be an expansion. So I like to think of like, you know, I would have spent this $40 on an indie game anyway, and I like the expansion content. I'd like to continue to support the expansion, so put it back into the game. It's not just, all right, let's buy loot boxes, no for the best, but
mine was definitely the game that I believe I spent the most money on was for a single character I was trying to roll in everybody's favorite Genshin Impact. I almost said the fake name first.
Actually said the actual name.
Genshit Fuck Shaft. That game is ultimate FOMO, the video game. It's incredible. So to fully explain this, Genshin Impact is an open world gacha game, which just means you can earn in-game currency or buy the in-game currency, and then you use that currency to potentially try to get a character that's on like a monthly banner. And they'll have like, oh, this character is like a guarantee after it's what's called a 50-50. I think I explained that to you recently when you were playing Zenless Zone Zero, where if you lose your first, like if you roll 100 times and on the 100th one, which you can get the banner character before then, it's just a random chance. The percentage is extremely low. But if you get that and it's not the character that you wanted, then the next time that you get like the S rank or the 5-star character, that'll be the one that you get. And so I saved up all my in-game currency for like half a year for the character Hu Tao, which is like ghost girl, and she runs a funeral parlor, and I liked her vibe because I'd seen like trailers for her. They have like specific character trailers for all of their games, Hoyo, whenever they release a new character.
She had really neat art of the ghosts.
Yes, she did. And I saved up all my currency for like 6 months, and I was like, oh boy, I'm gonna do the thing. Oh yeah, finally her banner, it came back after like half a year. Yeah, I'm gonna get her. And then spent all my currency. I'm pretty positive I lost my 50-50. And I don't think I've ever felt such like anguish and depression with a game before. And this was when I was still living over at my mom's house, and I didn't have a lot of money. And I ended up spending like $110, $120 on the in-game currency just to get this one character. And when I did, I was happy, but that ultimately fucking ruined the game for me by trying to get that character. And I probably played a month more after that and then stopped playing, which like I wasn't the most dedicated player, which you apparently have to be, because when I talk about the FOMO is that I first especially got interested in Genshin Impact when they had this little summer event going on, the Golden Apple Archipelago. And it's like the music was really nice. The locale was really nice. And it was just a bunch of islands and you were riding around in a boat. It was cool. I was like, oh yeah, cool. And I ended up getting into Genshin Impact in like the fall, like a month after that event happened. And you can't go back to that area. It's an entire area that's locked behind FOMO, which is fear of missing out, for those who don't know that. But then they had the summer event happen the following year back at those islands. And so I'm playing it at that time, and they are talking about things that happened the year prior that I was not there for. Like, oh, you remember when we did this character and this happened? Oh man, that was crazy. I wasn't there for that. And they somehow fixed that in their past two games, Honkai Star Rail and Zenless Zone Zero, which just came out like a month or two ago. And they just continue to not fix that for Genshin Impact for no reason. Like they have another summer event going on that is also a limited time area. So then once it's over, you can't go back there. Anyway, that game fucking sucks and I hate it.
Wait a minute.
But also, it has good things
Wait a
about it.
minute. It talked all that. I'm just saying it boils down to this game's trash.
The FOMO ruins it so hard. Because if you're not there for the story events that are happening, then you will never be there for them because they just move on. It's no repeat of the event that happened. They make new content and they just keep pushing forward. It's like actually fucking insane. The dailies in that game are so incredibly boring in that you have to go to like select areas in the game, depending on where you pick. Like, oh, I pick like the main starting area is like Mondstadt. And like the other one, like the second area is like Leeway. And you can pick which area you want to do your dailies in, but you have to like, it's an open world game, so you have to fast travel a lot to get your dailies done. It takes like 15 minutes and it's the same things over and over. And you're just blasting through the dialogue. You just don't care. It's so incredibly boring. I've seen Reddit posts about people like coming to their senses mid-daily and they're like, what am I doing? Like, I'm not doing anything. And then they just drop the game because it's like they are just wasting their time. It is such an incredibly awful time sink that has like great artistic design, great characters, very incredible music, fun enough gameplay, except that they won't add any more weapons. So it's just the same like 5 or whatever weapon types.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, another spear user, oh, another bow user, oh, another sword user, oh, another magic book user. And maybe one other I might have forgotten, but I think that might be it. Gotcha's crazy. But I'm enjoying Zenless Zone Zero because it's not FOMO.
Logged in last night on my phone. I'm so glad that they have like that interconnectivity. I'm glad that you can even do it. I'll just throw that out there.
I can't play it. I can't play it on my phone.
Didn't you just upgrade?
Yeah, I got a new phone and like it's still too much. It has 8 gigabytes of RAM, I think, which is 4 more than my old phone. And it's still not enough. So like worst case, I'll hop on there to like do dailies, which the dailies in Zenless Zone Zero literally take like 5 minutes. And it's just, you're on your home street, you drink coffee, you open up your videotape store, you take pictures of cats. That's the weekly. You take pictures of cats. And like, that's literally fucking it. Those are the dailies. It's just daily activity, literally, instead of do the same quest over and over and over and skip all of the dialogue. You just drink coffee in Zenless Zone Zero, and it takes 1 second.
Have you finally come around?
It also
to
helps
it?
that. What's
Have
that?
you finally come around to it?
Zenless Zone Zero? Yeah, I was about to say it also helps that the gameplay for that is actually fun.
Oh, there.
I was having issues initially just with all the dialogue. Because if you do want to play this game, for anybody interested, you're going to have to deal with that there is just a ton of dialogue. You will get your gameplay eventually, but there's a ton of dialogue to go through. And like the beginning is like quite slow. But I would say, yeah, I've come around to it at this point, and I want to try to be around for it and not lose interest so heavily like I have other Hoyoverse games. Like I really liked Honkai Star Rail, their last game they did. But I fell off. There was nothing wrong with it. There wasn't FOMO. I just fell off. That's all. Because that's like more of a traditional, turn-based RPG sort of format where it's like, yeah, the story is the important thing here. Definitely much less of the gameplay. Not to say it isn't there, but it's a good fucking game. And you're helping Hoyoverse build a second sun, apparently. allegedly.
Drop pod. Now with more. And then I don't say anything after that. This little thing right here, I'm cutting this out. Or I'm probably not, depending on how this goes, but I have a sound effect behind this so that people know that this was like a cutaway. But I had said drop pod. But the fact that I'm even explaining this to you now means I'm probably not going to do that at all. And I'm just going to use this whole segment as the cutaway. Cutaways are only meant to be 3 seconds, by the way. I've explained this little bit for more than 5. Now going on 10.
Thank you.
Pod.
Drop pod.
That's it.
That's it.
I was looking into some games that I was genuinely excited for like the rest of the year, aside from Space Marine. I hope that keeps my attention.
Is it next month?
It is next month. On the 9th or the 5th. If
I'm
you
interested.
ordered.
I'm interested, but oh god, the fucking games need to stop with the fucking 4-day early access shit.
I don't know why we're doing it. I don't know why we're insisting that we should be doing it.
Because it's just extra money. It is just extra money. I don't know how much that 4-day additional early access is, but like Michael was talking about, shout out to Michael, he was talking about how like WoW is, having a new expansion release and they have like early access to it. And he's like, oh yeah, it's like $90. It's like, no, you got to be kidding me. Like I get for him why it's so important, where it's like, if he's part of, a raiding group, then like, yeah, that early time is really important to, get your levels in. So you can just immediately start with, whatever bosses. But like, holy shit, every fucking game is doing it now.
Yeah.
It's like, just release your game on a day.
I don't know why we're like, us particular, the Game Boys are having, all these companies just do this all of a sudden. I mean, yeah, you vote with your wallet. People wouldn't be.
Because it's easy.
Well,
it's easy money. Why, if you have a friend group that is getting this game and all of them are getting this game on this day early and you're not, like, what are you doing? So of course you have to get the game early because your friends are getting it early. I was going to say before, I'm interested in the Vigi game, but I feel like because it's only 3 players, I feel like it'll probably be a case of like everybody else wants to play it. And then like, I won't find a group to play it with because everybody else will be playing
nonsense.
it. Like, oh, I'm this far along.
Because there's a story and then there's like the expeditions that you go on with, the 2 other players.
Oh, that's right. It does have multiplayer as well. I keep forgetting.
So like
I know you were surprised when I mentioned.
Well, yeah, you got the multiplayer, but then you have like the co-op bit, the expeditions, and I think those act like Destiny 2 strikes, if you're familiar. That takes a part of the campaign, but now you can play that with other people, basically. And then you just have the story itself. Yeah, but I was looking through like the games that I'm excited for like the rest of the year, and I'm just, it's that. It would have been Stalker 2.
You're not excited for it anymore?
It's not coming out in 2024 is the problem.
Oh, wait. Wait, when did they move the date again? They moved it again? I thought it was this year. It says November 20th, 2024.
I think that's Cope, actually.
That's what it says on the release date. I know they've pushed it back several times.
I know I read something somewhere where I was like, it ain't happening this year, bud. Move on, bud. I hope that was for anything else. Three weeks ago, it's been hit with another delay. Let's see.
I mean, I won't be surprised, I guess. Like I was excited for it when it was, finally officially announced, like 70 years ago at this point.
You know what? All right, maybe we're back. Maybe we're back. I don't know. I think it's Coke, but I think
are we Jack? We're so Jack. Is it so
we might
John?
be.
It's not Jover.
Well, all right. Well, there's Space Marine. There's
To be determined.
Stalker. I think. Star Wars Outlaws that already came out, and people are not too excited about this game.
That released?
Well, people are playing like the review copies right now.
Okay. So it's about to release.
I think that's about to be.
The atmosphere for the game looked really nice.
I think that's about to be DOA, unfortunately. If Ubisoft already didn't
That's all I
deter
can
people,
say.
then hopefully the gameplay at least will resonate with some. But I think Ubisoft kind of pushed it a little bit too hard with like, oh, this is the most expansive AI we've ever had, and literally watching the fucking lifeless town not do anything, watching the combat, and the main character is just standing in a bunch of enemies, and the enemies aren't doing anything. It's
I love when the dude walks into the wall or stays behind cover the entire time. Yep.
So there would have been Star Wars Outlaws, but no. There is Slitterhead. Slitterhead I was looking forward to, which
everybody was looking forward to Slitterhead, and then everybody saw Slitterhead, the gameplay for it, and then everybody became uninterested in Slitterhead. Is how that went.
That DOA.
Kinda, yeah. It's like it's just not what everybody expected, and like it looks really rough from like the last trailer people had seen.
That's it. Oh no, that's not fair. Silent Hill 2 is coming up. I'm gonna give Silent Hill 2 its fair shake.
Oh,
I think we'll be okay.
Oh, did you see the trailer they posted yesterday?
The 20-minute gameplay footage they released yesterday?
No, it was like a 3-minute trailer when it opens up with Borea sitting, in the cell. She's like, James, honey, we got separated in that long hallway. You confusing me with somebody else? But she says it like, oh, James, honey, you got separated in that long hallway. Are you confusing me with someone else? And then like you go back to the OG and it's like, oh, James, honey, did something happen when you get separated in that long hallway? Are you confusing me with someone else? It's like, it's so lifeless. I was throwing up on stream and gagging. I almost threw up myself. It was so fucking bad.
I'm gonna give it its fair shake.
I will play it, and I will buy it from the most secondhand key seller I possibly can, because I'm not giving Konami a fucking dime.
If it isn't what I think it's going to be, well, it's no skin off my back, because I still have Silent Hill 2 Enhanced Edition, which is a fan-made project that is still going strong. I don't think I was asking for a remake of Silent Hill 2. In fact, I was asking for just a new Silent Hill in general.
Yeah, you got Silent Hill Ascension. Congratulations. Did you like it?
No. I haven't opened it. Can you believe that? I installed it. I was one of the first to pre-register for that, and I have not opened it. I
just know that they had to moderate their chat so heavily. You couldn't say certain things, and it just nobody had a good time. It was so fucked. I've seen like nothing of it in particular. I just know everybody hated it.
That was a project, and that didn't work.
Yeah. And then there's another Silent Hill thing that I always forget what the hell it even was. There was the short message, which was at best mediocre, I heard. But I also heard that it kind of ended, or it could end in the way that the Medium ended, which was fucking bad.
Yep.
Spoilers for the Medium. At the end of the Medium, your character just kills themselves. Yep. Great ending. Thanks so much. But the one Silent Hill game you could possibly look forward to is Silent Hill Fuck, otherwise known as Silent Hill F, which is written by, I think it was the same author that wrote Umineko and Higurashi, if I remember correctly, which those are both good. And the art direction for it looks really good and interesting. But we only got that cinematic like reveal trailer, and that's it. So they're still cooking. So there's hope in that, because it's like a very separate, smaller looking thing that looks very intriguing.
Were I still a young lad, there would have been Assassin's Creed Shadows. I would have looked forward to that if I was still. You know?
Yes.
There's a lot of calling to developers recently of just like, you have to cancel this. Like a mad, like that is such a thing to say. Like I'm begging you as a fan, I'm begging you, don't put this out. Don't do it. I don't care how long you've been working on this. I don't care if this is going to sink your company. Your company is going to sink regardless of what you do.
Yeah,
don't
like
put this out.
What was that? Bungie's next game. We were talking about that.
Marathon
on the RE5 stream the other day. Yeah, Marathon.
It's I mean, with Bungie though, and I explained this during the stream. It's like they're backed. A lot of people think this is like a good financial move to make. It's like, don't put it out. Like, just stop whatever you're doing.
They're gonna kill themselves. They can't manage themselves, clearly.
And that's kind of the ticking time bomb that Bungie is faced with, because Sony gave them a year and just said, all right, we'll let you guys operate. And, if you guys are doing good or whatever, we'll give you guys complete autonomy. So far, they have demonstrated a few things that Sony already doesn't like. And this is not Sony of America. This is corporate, in Japan.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, guys, listen, we know you guys like to speak out on like a lot of issues or whatever. You represent us now though. And we kind of don't need you guys saying anything, too crazy. And then Bungie had took that as like, all right, okay. They put out a blog post like, we will never stop doing what is right.
No, don't do what's right. Do what makes money.
And they're not even doing that.
Sony is so allegedly pissed off with them because they can't manage themselves at all. Like, break away from it was Microsoft, right?
Yes.
Or Activision.
What?
Or not Activision, sorry.
So yeah, started with Microsoft, got bought out by Activision, absorbed into ActiBliz.
Yeah. Anyway, but break away from all that, and then they realize, oh wait, we can't actually manage ourselves. We need the big daddy. And then go to Sony, and like they are just so pissed off with them. It's like, what the fuck are you doing?
So yeah, they gave them a year, and again, if they mess up in their earnings, it's like, all right, no more Bungie autonomy. We're stepping in, which is completely, in keeping with everything that Bungie wants as a company. There was a podcast. Sorry, I don't. It was just an interview. Anyway, Martin O'Donnell, he used to be like the original composer for the Halo games, and just older Bungie. He had went on with the Actman. Actman is YouTube, whoever the fuck. And they were talking, and he had went, which, yeah, okay, but he had basically said a little earlier on into the interview that we never quite got rid of Microsoft in our DNA. like once we had left Microsoft, they were still kind of digging their prongs into us. And what Martin had meant by that was like, a lot of people had like stayed behind after they got absorbed into Activision to, work on whatever the next evolution of Halo was going to be. At that time, it was Halo 4. The other half had obviously went into Bungie to work on whatever Destiny was going to be. Well, now you have a almost 50-50 split of, staff that want to remain working on what they feel is like their baby, Halo, and everybody else is like, yeah, that chapter is done. So then they had brought on talent from Microsoft internally to like kind of help manage Bungie. And then that's, you go down a whole decade and some change. Now here we are with what is current era Bungie. And they have made some of the worst money moves a company can make, not as worse as Overkill, mind you, but they have made some very terrible decisions with their financial strategy, so much so that they've twice decided to get bought out. I don't see them coming out of the Sony deal. I don't even know how they came out of Activision.
It's like they're intentionally trying to do the worst business moves they can. Like, how worse can we get? Let's find out.
At first, apparently, Destiny 2 doesn't make all that much money, which I don't know how. I know perfectly how. It's because you are working on 6 other titles simultaneously. And as opposed to, even if it was just one title on the side, I don't think anybody's going to mind that. It's like, all right, cool, we're Bungie, whatever. You're working on 6 extra things, plus you guys have business going on personally. And then you have your CEO siphoning a big amount of your money towards his personal.
We need more trucks. Auction more trucks.
And he still said that boy has stayed silent as a rock.
Yeah, because before all the layoffs happened recently, he locked his Twitter account beforehand because he knew he was going to get shit for it. Which, like, yeah, no fucking shit. You're going to auctions, buying a bunch of cars. No fucking wonder.
Somehow, I mean, he still hasn't.
He can't give your actual devs any of a piece of the pie.
He hasn't said a word. That is insane. That is smart on one hand. Like, if you get into like some serious trouble, like they always tell you, like, oh, you don't want to say nothing. Like, don't do anything. And he has done exactly that, but it's insane, like, how long this has gone on. He hasn't said anything. Oh, no, that's not fair.
There's really no correct answer to this, because you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. People are going to be pissed off either way.
Sorry, no, I got that incorrect. There was a blog post, but the blog post seems like it was written by AI, explaining the recent layoffs. Yeah. And ain't nobody there to like write the damn thing. So it's like, all right, well, it must, people are pointing it back at Pete, because it's like, well, Pete Parsons, the CEO, people are pointing it back at him because it's like, ain't nobody else doing it.
Or actually, no, I was thinking of Gollum. The Gollum devs did an AI written apology. No, I didn't actually hear about, I didn't hear about what's his face doing an AI thing. Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, July 31st, 2024. Yeah, from Pete Parsons. So, and this looks so. You're not going to expect a cat like that to, type such an article. I'll hand that to you. I'm not going to bore you guys, dear listeners, with everything that's going on, but I'll link it. It's going to suck if you guys are listening.
New path for Bungie.
If you guys are listening to this
is the
anywhere
name
other than YouTube, that's going to suck, but I'll leave this in a link in the comment. You guys can look through it, but it definitely looks.
The new path for Bungie is like the title of the thing. Oh, yeah, let's continue to lay off. We still have over 850 members. Well, at least you have that. When are they leaving too?
I think people went to like AI detector and basically concluded like there's no shot this guy wrote it.
Why is at the end it's just dash, no space, lowercase Pete? What the fuck is that?
Gives it that authenticity.
Oh boy. Like he hand wrote it. Bullshit.
It's
Bungie is such a fucked company.
And he has not said a peep since then. We're almost at the end of August now, Jesus. And this guy hasn't not a peep. So basically that's where we're at. And we were assuming that a lot of people were just kind of like leaving right now because you had, I keep forgetting this guy's name, and we've had him for game director.
I figure you don't have much job security at this point, so no, I can't really blame them.
Hold on.
Well, you know what would fix this?
Luke Smith. That was the guy. What's up?
Do you know what would fix this entire situation? Like the guaranteed money win. This will bring Bungie back from the brink. Reeling, gasping. Destiny 3. Let's go. Can I get a Destiny 3?
No. That was going to be the next thing that I would bring up here, but Luke Smith had left, and he was the guy in charge of the extended universe of Destiny 2. We don't even know what the hell that meant. Because
lore.
He initially was the game director of Destiny 2, but he had made so many bad decisions for Destiny 2 that I think internally they had just asked this guy, like, hey, come with me for a moment. And then just sat him down over here, and it's like, okay, you're going to be in charge of like, if there's going to be a TV show, some books, some whatever, that's what you're doing now. And he had left along with another guy that was pretty important to like the greater Destiny like fandom. They left. They weren't fired. They were just like, yeah, no, we're done. And I'm pretty sure that they know that Sony's about to like step in and just like, yeah, we're gonna take control of our $1 billion acquisition. What I was going to bring up is among all 6 of these projects that Bungie was going to do, not one of those projects were Destiny 3. And in fact, it was revealed that Destiny 3 wasn't even a thought on the table. That is a problem in large part that your current player base, despite how old your player base is, they're expecting more Destiny content and just more continuity of this project, this game.
But now you're getting like what episodes? I think you mentioned basically. Yes.
So you're getting episodic releases, and
that'll tide everybody over for 5 seconds.
That's more, and that's currently the problem that we're gauged with, is that people are dropping off.
Like the expansions maybe lasted like 4 days to a week.
It's that honeymoon period. A lot of people were kind of saying that, once this expansion, rears its head, that's going to be basically it for me. Like, I'm going to beat the final, boss of the game, and that's it. It's definitely, it's reached a shorter lifespan than any other expansion, because, it's just like everybody was so like soured from the previous. And it's like, if the story is going to conclude after I kill this guy, then all right, so be it.
And like I've said it before, and I'll say it again, but just it fascinates me so much, and I find it so funny that like the expansion comes out, people are like, oh no, yeah, it's really good. No, Destiny's back. Oh, we're so fucking back. Let's go. And then talk to them now. And then like every one of them is like, Destiny fucking sucks.
It's just hard to get behind
the flip flop, the endless flip flop.
It's
just every time a new thing comes out.
It's really hard to get behind the company. And it's just the culture is so like wishy-washy because the future of the franchise is like so uncertain.
Yeah.
Like you already know how Microsoft would have done these guys if they were still, absorbed. It's like, yeah, they were going to try to milk them for another trilogy and they were waiting for them to sign another contract.
Or shit, even just fucking liquidate them. I mean, look at like Tango Works with Hi-Fi Rush. Like they were already out the door, which is why I don't know if you know this, why they had shadow released Hi-Fi Rush, because like they were already doing shit. Tango Works. And so they shadow released the game. It's a huge hit, which is not what Microsoft wanted at all. So them like being foreclosed and whatnot, like that was always the plan. It just took slightly longer despite Hi-Fi Rush winning all these awards, which really just goes to show you can make an award-winning game and within like the following year can be shuttered.
Isn't that crazy?
Thankfully, they were bought out at least by the PUBG devs, so they get to continue doing things.
I'm more worried about that now.
I mean, not my favorite dev, but, and this is when the monkey paw curls, but at least they're still, a studio in doing things. The monkey paw curls.
It's
You'll wish they weren't still active when they're helping with
PUBG and
PUBG. Callisto Protocol 2.
Is that also announced?
No, that'll never be announced.
It goes free,
which is really unfortunate.
In a couple of days.
I would never play that game.
Right.
You can literally play that game with your eyes closed. I've seen somebody do it. The combat is that fucking simple. Because you just tilt your stick to avoid enemies, and like the gunplay in it is just you hit an enemy with your little pipe or whatever melee weapon you have, and then eventually a critical like opportunity will happen, and that's when you use your gun. Like you're not supposed to use your gun outside of combat, the melee combat that is. It's like only 4 crits. Like how did somebody think that would be fine? From like going from Dead Space, which was the entire point of Callisto Protocol, to it's just the melee combat, and you can like don't even have to look at it. You can close your eyes and still win. And the gunplay doesn't exist. I feel really bad for the director on that, because like he's a smart guy with how Dead Space 1 came about. Like I saw a little documentary video on that like last year or a couple of years ago. And it's like the dude was really smart with the way he was talking, the way he was managing his team. And then it's like, what the fuck happened? How did we get Callisto Protocol instead of like just another Dead Space like?
I was going to bring up briefly that I think it's crazy that you're in terms of like Tango, that your job security is with like one of the wealthiest companies on the planet. And they were already like seeking your demise like well before your game was even released.
I've been thinking about that a lot recently. Like, I think it's better nowadays to just be an indie dev than be a part of a big publisher like Sony.
And this is
Nintendo, Microsoft. Like they all fucking suck in their own very unique ways.
This is where we circle.
You were
way back, way back to
way back.
The interview with Martin O'Donnell and Axeman, because he would then go on to say, it's like we wanted to get Microsoft like out of the Bungie DNA, like for And we said internally, especially when Martin O'Donnell, took stocks in this company. So he became like one of the founders for the company. You should not have any entity at all. Like basically own your property. Like you need to be able to be autonomous. And that was always Bungie's goal. So when we came over to Activision, we thought, all right, we make this game and then we can bail. Well, the game was good. All right, well, we need the money. All right, well, get as far as we can with this and then we bail. And they got their wish. They bailed, but they didn't have enough. Apparently, they didn't have enough revenue with Destiny 2, even though they were milking us back then. I mean, it was crazy the amount of stuff that they wanted you to buy. They wanted you to buy the access key to the dungeon, and then they wanted you to buy the season. But then, wait a minute, you also have to buy the expansion. But wait a minute, you also have to buy the legacy pack if you want to catch up with everything else that's happening.
That is what blew my mind. Looking back, like when I briefly played Destiny 2 for, I think I had like 60 hours in it in total. But like just looking at all of that and then like hearing, conversations from everybody at the Hell Jumpy Discord talking about like, oh, I got to buy this expansion and this one. It's like, I thought this just came out. Like, why you have to buy another thing?
That's not even the best part. Because wait a minute.
There's more.
Now you got to buy not only you have to buy all that, but now you have to buy the $20 access key to the season event that should be tacked on to the expansion that you're currently playing. But no, you're going to buy that because if you want to participate in the 4th of July festivities, you have to spend $20 in the video game.
Oh my God. The free seasonal thing.
But wait a minute. Not only that.
There's more?
You also have the transmog store. And you want your character to look cute. So now you got to buy all the armor from that. But oh, wait a minute. What about the Eververse store in general? Now, if you want your guns to look cute, we're going to go through that little ordeal. So there's so many revenue streams that were in the game already.
Don't forget your little iBot Robert Ghostman.
Yes, if you want him to look cute, then you also have to buy his thing.
I want him to look like a piece of cardboard.
Halloween event, which you have to pay $20 for.
Destiny experience.
It's that's basically what you're dealing with. And for some reason, somehow, in some way, shape, or form,
it still didn't work.
No, apparently that wasn't enough.
Oh man,
and there are people that are kind of crunching the numbers, which is like what I love Destiny for. It's like all of like the community, just the community is very smart about certain things, and they're able to like peel data from like every avenue of the game. So they're able to, statistically speaking, they're able to pinpoint, all right, here's how many people are currently playing the game. Here's how many people participated in the campaign for this expansion. So we have to infer that at least this many people own the current expansion. So then they're able to deduce that this is roughly how much money that this expansion has currently gotten Bungie. And for some reason, this isn't enough money to continue on with Destiny.
Because it's going to the fucking cars. Straight to the auction, baby.
And like Pete doesn't answer to any of that either. That's like the worst part. It's like, that's all personal business. So you get to lie to Sony. How much is your company actually worth? And I feel like we've seen this time and time again. Google, Twitter. It's like, no, those cats want it out. So it's not profitable for them to continue to do it. It's like if you're offering all this money, it's like I'm gonna take that. But you idiots deal with it. So Google, Twitter gets bought out by fucking Elon. Somehow makes it a worse platform than when it fucking started.
It is incredible. It is incredible that one, it's still going, and two, it's still getting worse every day.
I think he did this sheepishly because I logged on the other night. I hardly use social media these days, but like, in fact, I'll get on it right now just to reaffirm. So
I might. Is it about the likes?
No.
Have you? Did you hear about the likes? Okay, so, you know how you go to somebody's Twitter profile, not X, Twitter. You go to somebody's Twitter profile, and you have their posts, their tweets, their replies, the media that they posted, just pictures or videos, and then you can see their likes, everything that they liked. Well, somebody looked at Elon's likes, and it was some weird what
was it from?
Like mommy milk fetish or whatever.
And then there was like
and people made fun of him. Yeah, the very next day they removed likes, which was really disappointing because if I'm following somebody and I want to see, some of the stuff that they liked, because sometimes just it's it's really good artwork. I just want to look. You can't fucking look now. They have to retweet it. On the bright side, though, nobody can see if you like those mommy milker tweets, I guess. He's so fucking spineless. It's so funny.
It's really funny.
Well, what were you going to say?
I just logged on. On the left-hand side, you can see a tab for jobs. So I guess he added this job thing to kind of tell people what you're not going to pay for the the blue check mark. All right, well, get you one.
See, I have the Chrome extension. It's a control panel for Twitter, and it just makes Twitter again. Irritatingly, my old Android phone, I was able to change the icons and the name for the apps that were listed on my home screen, but I can't, or at least I'm not sure how to with my new Android phone. I went from a Samsung Galaxy, I think A52, to a Google Pixel 8. And I don't know why I can't just change the name. So now I'm losing track of where I have X on my homepage because I don't recognize it as X. I recognize it as Twitter. I'm like, oh wait, where the fuck is? Oh wait, yeah, it's X. That's right. It's not a blue little icon. It's a big black dumb X.
Try that out when you're able. It's your launcher. And the Pixel uses its own launcher, so you just download a regular one that allows you to change the icons. You'll be all right. Yeah.
No, actually, I use Nova Launcher. I just didn't think about using it for Pixel 8.
Yeah, but that's basically game design in a nutshell. If you do the best you can, it's not enough.
No. Certainly not.
And to rear this segment all the way the fuck back. So that would have been Assassin's Creed Shadow if I was still interested.
If you were still younger.
Correct.
You would have been so there. But they have the gays and inclusivity and
I don't understand enough about DEI, this and that. It's just I wish the games were being I wish the arguments were more honest. You mean to tell me that this game is just bad on the merit that there is a gay representing person, or there is this person in the game?
No, it's bad because Ubisoft is making it. Ubisoft fucking sucks.
I wish
that's the bottom line.
I wish that was even the case. And most of these arguments, it's just silly. It's like, yeah, when do we go back to just calling Ubisoft bad? Like,
Why are we worrying about the?
You can right now, and you could have for the past decade.
It seemed like we were.
Some people chose not to.
It seemed like we were, and then we lost the plot somewhere.
No, it's because they're finally making the Japanese Assassin's Creed video game that people have been wanting.
This character's a woman.
Wait. Inclusivity.
The character's black.
And he's gay?
Huh.
I think people miss that homosexuality in Japan was like, it wasn't exactly smiled upon, but it happened a lot. And it was kind of okay depending on who you were. Really. Like I think Nobunaga had a vassal named Ronmaru Mori, who he was allegedly very much gay with at times. But no, Yasuke cannot be gay. Also, he's black.
To rear this way back.
How far are we going to rear this? I think the bowl is already flipped over.
There was also The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, which was, I think, a good starting point for me to like come back to Zelda as a franchise. I don't remember when this is coming out, but
I was at the that's the one where you just play as Zelda. Yeah. I was hearing somebody say that that game looks a lot bigger than it potentially actually is. I haven't really been following it. I've kind of been on not a strike of Nintendo, but I'm kind of just fucking sick of their shit. And I'll try to get their products one way or another without actually giving them the money for it.
You heard it here first.
Because the Switch is such old hardware. Even when it fucking released, it was very innovative, but for like Tears of the Kingdom to release and then just be stuck at 30 FPS is just in the modern age where like 60 is the standard. It's really gross. Like I'll play a game at like 480p, but if it's running at 60 FPS, that's fucking fantastic. It just makes it look and feel a lot better. Like you look at like I love Resident Evil 4. That's probably not unknown knowledge to people that know me, but Resident Evil 4 on the PS2, going back to that now and it being at like 30 FPS, it is so incredibly hard to play that.
Ooh, yeah.
Because it feels so sluggish. And not to say I can't play games at 30 FPS, but just some of them just are just not there. They just don't run very well. I mean, you look at even like whatever Pokemon games nowadays, like Scarlet and Violet is a great example. That game released like fucking buggy shit, and the optimization, the frame rate for it were just abysmal. It was barely able to reach 30. But this will all be fixed with the Switch 2. Maybe. Which is going to be showcased allegedly next year.
Allegedly.
It's like the worst. So it's been the worst kept secret in the fucking industry for the past like 2 years at this point. Like, yeah, it's going to happen. It's crazy too that so many people just expect like a pro upgrade system at this point. Like everybody is banking on the next state of play for Sony. There's going to be a PS5 Pro, and then the fucking copium of the people who are like, and then Bloodborne Remastered will finally be announced alongside it.
How much cope is that? Oh, no, actually, no, that's true. No, because I have been seeing some buzz around another Bloodborne announcement.
There is never not buzz around another Bloodborne announcement. People like at the fucking drop of a hat, somebody breathes funny. Bloodborne remake, Bloodborne remaster, let's go. What they should be more excited about, I don't know if you've heard about this, the PS4 emulator, and specifically with Bloodborne, has made fucking strides in even the past like week. Have you heard about this?
I probably shouldn't. That's just going to get shut down.
Well,
we need to keep that like under wraps.
Well, no, it's kind of, everybody's fucking talking about it. It's kind of hard to not talk about it.
Damn.
But they got from the point, the development team, for getting Bloodborne working on PC. Like, it already runs at 60 FPS thanks to Lance McDonald's patch, and he did that like on console. But it went from like 2 months ago where everybody got really excited that they were finally able to boot Bloodborne on PC to the title menu in black and white. And now, in just this past week, you have people running around in the game at very unstable 60 FPS, even up to 120 FPS, and the game fucking works. It's very glitchy. The audio doesn't exactly work. Like, the sound effects aren't there. I'll have to send you some of this later, but just anybody look it up. Look up like, I don't know, Bloodborne emulation just on YouTube. Like, even in the past 3 days, there's been substantial just progress. So I am genuinely assuming, like, if this is still fine to keep going and it doesn't get stopped for whatever reason, that we'll probably see a very early playable version of Bloodborne on PC emulated by the end of the year. And I would 100% bank on next year people can actively play Bloodborne on PC, like, unimpeded. It is insane the amount of progress that's been going on with that. So finally, all of my friends can play Bloodborne.
And we all sing Kumbaya.
Kumbaya.
The very last game was the casting of Frank Stone. Apparently releases in September. It's a Dead by Daylight spinoff. I think it's like a more story-based something or other for Dead by Daylight.
I think I remember hearing about that. Was that announced today or recently?
Last year, in fact. It's supposed to release in September.
I remember hearing about it.
But I was looking forward to this one. It's not like I just, when it comes to horror multiplayer, whatever, and I had this problem with Outlast. It's like the game isn't a horror game to me after, I guess, like the first night of playing. Like, yeah, sure, like it's neat initially, like the scares, but then I don't know.
You're talking about Outlast Trials specifically, yes. Right?
The game in like a multiplayer setting, it's because you're playing with other people. They're not going to take it too seriously. You're playing with others. The game more or less turns into, I guess, like action adventure, or even just like a stealth adventure game. It's hard to really call it like a horror game after a certain point, because I mean, you just know all of the triggers and everything else that's going on. And that's kind of been my problem with Dead by Daylight, because that's like a competitive, like, imagine that as like a tagline, a competitive horror game. It's like,
people get fucking salty with that game. So bad.
And that's kind of kept me off of it too. It was like, I would play it if it was like more of a casual thing, but people have made like entire tournaments surrounding this game. And it's like, here's what you need to do in order to maintain a competitive level in this game. And it's like, I don't have the patience to sit there and learn metas for what is supposed to be a horror game. It's like, no, I don't think that works. But apparently has for past decade.
I actually played that once with a group of friends, like years and years back.
How'd it go?
It was kind of fun. I was commended because I was playing the bell ringing guy very well, and they were like, "Oh no, you're the guy who like coaxed everybody into playing it was like, oh no, you're probably gonna not do very good because that guy's kind of hard to play." And then I played him and I got people, and he was like, "Oh no, you actually played really good." I was like, I just wanted to ring the bell.
The only game that I got close to like broaching in that like Dead by Daylight space was in Silence. I thought that was like pretty fun with like a, like a group of people, but
yeah,
it's hard to call that a horror game either after like a while.
Well, the game died. It didn't help.
I don't think it died. It's more or less like you play it with your friends and that's about it. It's like what, like 5 players?
Well, no, because like they released that one like snowy patch or whatever, and then development just completely
There's
stopped.
not much to really. You took the money and ran, but there's not much you can really do with that concept. It's 5 of your friends. It's not like, all right, let's join somebody's lobby. Like, no, there's 5 of your friends. So it basically turns into like, it's that one game that everybody's like talking about, and that will be dead in like a month. Content warning, that one. So it's like that. All right, I guess a more permeable example is like Lethal Company. So you get your friend group, and you guys play it for however long, and then everybody gets bored, and that's basically that. Like, all right, guys, I got which everything like I needed out of this.
Like the thing that sucks is like that's still going on pretty good. Definitely not as strong as it was, and like I still do want to play that game again because like they added a bunch of new bunch of new creatures, and I was like, oh yeah, from what I saw, it looked really cool, and it just didn't come to fruition. It's like almost like a bad habit with our friend group. Like, oh yeah, we get on the thing and then everybody stops.
It's not a dead game by like any means. It certainly isn't where it was, but you almost have like 20K people playing it. You have 30K people playing it at like peak hour. That's still very good for what it is.
Oh, definitely.
To some people in the Hell Jumpers, that this game did. This game fell off. But
20,000 players, and it had a peak of 200,000. Dead game. 20,000 individual people. This game is dead.
I mean,
not to mention too, like I think most people are not going to join up with randoms.
Yeah.
In games like that, like Phasmophobia, Lethal Company, you're going to join up with your friends. So like the point of dead game doesn't really make sense because it's like it's not an online PvP kind of game.
And that's what I meant by in Silence. Like, no, you're going to join up with your group, and that's basically that's what makes it fun. But I mean, after a while, you kind of know like how your friend group is going to play, and what the monster is going to do, and game the system after a while. I think it was like it's good. It's just a cool party game for like Halloween, but that's basically it. Like everybody gets their fill for like that chunk of time. I think that's like a huge issue. It's like these party games. I know our friend group gets like bored very easily, and a lot of things come up, but like,
of course, yeah, that too. People just get busy with other games.
It's like,
or they just continue playing Destiny 2.
You want to talk about like games that like fell off? We're looking like Among Us. Among Us was like huge. It's like there's only so much you can do with a game like that.
Are you talking in general? Among Us fell off? No.
Comparatively, yeah. I mean, 500,000 to like 2,000.
You haven't been around kids enough in the past, just recent. Yeah. Like my sister has 2 younger kids, and like they still talk about Among Us.
Well, I mean, culture wise, yeah, Among Us is still very much in, but people actively playing it, and I think a lot of players had moved on to that 3D variant. I forget what that game is even called, but there's a variant of the game now, and it's all in first person, and one of you has a gun, so you can deal with whoever's the imposter. And it's still the same thing. It's just the first person. So in terms of like culture shock, no, Among Us is still very much in. It's just I don't think people are really talking about like Amogus as like this is what we're doing right now. This is the game that we're playing.
Definitely, yeah. Although to be fair, I did see that one streamer that I always talk about. You know the one. He was playing that with his friends recently. So it still exists.
I wish I knew what this game was called. I'm sorry. It's
I don't even think I heard of the game that you're talking about.
Been seeing it on like YouTube Reels and like TikTok, but it's it looks pretty fun. But I mean, all it is just Amogus first person. There was a clip of a guy, like they have a stamina system in the game, and if you go over a limit of your stamina, you just fall over and die. So somebody had like went into the monitor room, and he like went into the guy that was like monitoring the cameras and just told him, nobody's going to believe you if I kill myself right now. So he just starts jumping to like reduce his stamina, and then he falls over. And he's like, dude, of course you would do that to me, like right here. And then immediately somebody walks in and like sees the body, and it's like, look, I didn't do that. He literally said that.
he jumped to death.
And that's literally what he had to explain.
In place.
That's what he had to explain to him. Like, no, he jumped.
He got so tired that he died.
So then a second guy walks through to like mediate. It's like, look, I know, yes, this looks bad. He jumped. Like he...
in place, not off of any object, just in place.
There's a psychopath system to add to the game, but
that's actually fantastic.
If I knew what the game was called, I'd know.
Yeah, shame it doesn't exist.
It's a fever dream. I came up with that in my head.
Dude, make it right now.
I woke up. I was like, oh, damn, that sounds like a good idea. Yeah, but okay, so that's basically it. Those are the games I'm looking forward to for the rest of the year. Was two of them, basically. Stalker 2 might come out. Space Marine 2.
Like 1.5.
Space Marine 2 will come out. Silent Hill 2, I will give a fair shake, but to say that I'm excited for one of my favorite games of all time is...
I'll fucking shake it. I'll hold it out the window and shake it, and then drop it. I'll give it half of a chance going in.
I'm not.
I have no faith in Bloober Team to deliver a good product at this point.
I'm not going to say anything about the character designs that has been talked about to death. I'm not going to do it. I'm gonna play through it
with the Pyramid Head pre-order pizza box head cosmetic. Yes. You're going to play through it and you're going to enjoy it. If you want to talk about anything, let's talk about how Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater and Silent Hill 2 are both getting remakes by different studios, to be fair, but under Konami as a publisher. And Metal Gear Solid 3
Unreal Engine
is, well, forget about that, is using the original voices from the original game, but Silent Hill 2 and Bloober Team are not, and they decided to cast new voices. Why?
No, shut up about that.
Somebody, I was talking about this earlier with my chat when I was streaming Gamescom, and somebody was trying to say like, oh, well, you know, maybe they lost like the original files. But the thing is, with the, if you remember, the really shitty Silent Hill 2 and 3 like remaster HD collection on the 360 and PS3 like over a decade ago, and how that was just so poorly received. It was like probably one of the worst games at the time. Like everybody was making fun of it. I think that was ported by Q-Lock, I believe. But the issue was, like, they had received a build that was before the gold master version, the like released finished product, because Konami had lost the original finished build. So Q-Lock had to rebuild Silent Hill 2 and 3 like from scratch. Silent Hill 3 was mostly intact, but Silent Hill 2, like you see, was the most fucked up. And then there was some issue with like Silent Hill 2 has the original voices, so clearly those are still there. But they also give you an alternate option of revoice dialogue by like more famous voice actors or whatever. And then Silent Hill 3. Yeah. And then Silent Hill 3 did not have its original voice audio because apparently they couldn't, quote unquote, find the original actress for Heather and get her to sign off on lending her voice to the project. So they just had to can the original voices completely and redub it. And you get no option to play that separately. So they clearly have the voices at a minimum. And even with MGS3 remake, like apparently for like some new additional things, they're bringing back the original cast to voice like very small things. Like they did that with the HD collection, the Metal Gear Solid HD collection for like PS3, where they had like, instead of like, for PS3 and 360, they like brought back like the Colonel in MGS2 to like say a different line for like the analog stick, I think, because the analog stick is Sony's exclusive like stick type. So if you want to port that to another console, you have to revoice that. So they brought him back and it like sounds so drastically different. So like even if like they had to do that for Silent Hill 2 remake, like they could have, they mostly still sound the same. I mean, aside from like Laura, it was like a child.
I just wanted to say, like earlier, I was like, no, shut up. David Hayter came back to like do the reveal trailer for Metal Gear Solid 3, but I just think that's so funny that they're like, let's not like retouch up his lines or anything when we have him. It's like, no, we're going to use the lines and we'll MacGyver this to sound better.
At least he gets to be a part of the fucking franchise again, since he was kicked off from MGSV by Kojumble because he wasn't famous enough.
Nonsense.
Yes.
No.
Yeah. Kojumble loves Hollywood.
No.
Loves Hollywood. You see that in Death Stranding, in his new game that's coming out, and then
With
the other thing that he's working
Jordan
on. Yes, he fucking loves Hollywood.
No.
Yeah. So he casted I'm drawing a blank. What was MGSV's Snake? What was his name?
Kiefer Sutherland.
Thank you. Casted him because he's famous in Hollywood.
No. Kiefer Sutherland back then,
Yes.
he was not like talk of town or anything. Like, no, he did 24 and that was it.
And that meant the world to Kojumble.
Fuck off.
You're refusing to see the light, but it's true.
Brother, may I have some oats?
It's true. Kojima
There.
fucking loves Hollywood. I mean, you know, I will give you this. Talking about MGSV's quality is like a completely separate thing. But you cannot deny that Kojima fucking loves Hollywood. It is through all of his works.
Yeah, but David Hayter, like,
Whether-
like that, like he, like that's
It's why they're written a certain way. It's why the camera like positioning is a certain way. I feel like you're like, no, it's not true. It's impossible. You're like just realizing it. You're
Doesn't
denying
make any sense.
its true form. It makes perfect
It's like
sense.
recasting Sam Fisher as somebody else.
As somebody more famous
No.
from Hollywood.
First of all, Michael Ironside is more famous than anybody on that cast. Michael fucking Ironside.
But if Kojumble had it his way.
There's no way you replace a voice like that. It's impossible.
Easily.
No.
He replaced David Hayter, did he not?
No. He was
here's the
probably
thing.
busy and he had to like concoct this entire narrative. Like, they didn't
The
want me.
Japanese cast for Metal Gear Solid did not drastically change.
Yeah, because they probably had the time, but David Hayter, no, he's a busy guy, like a huge schedule, so he probably didn't have enough time. And it's like, no.
No. And David Hayter's fucking mad about that still.
Well, yeah, because it would have to seem that way because, I mean, he didn't have enough time. So it was,
You are, he had to seem that way. He had to feel a certain way.
he just had to.
You, my friend, are huffing on copium.
I think we can agree to disagree.
I will convert you. You will understand what you're missing here someday.
He's friends with a lot of guys in Hollywood. I don't think he's. I don't know about that one.
The writing's on the wall. You're like, what does this mean? I can't read.
No. Well,
Drop pod.
I personally don't have any more topics unless there's something you wanted to bring up that you wanted to bring to the table, to the show.
Yeah, my most excited games that I'm most excited for games
Are
this
you?
year is something I'm sure I can't think of right now. But number one fan choice, it's going to be even bigger than Monster Hunter Wilds and Stalker and Path of Exile, all those other shitty games combined. You ready for it? Drum roll, please. Gex Trilogy.
Something tells me this is not going to release.
It's coming. There will be more info. Probably a release date. I'm pretty sure a release date by the end of the year.
Like we gave them. Here's the thing.
I'm so excited for Gex Trilogy.
Pre-orders were already supposed to
Because
start,
there's so many people
and we still don't have the pre-orders.
on my Twitch channel that are just like, I don't know really much about Gex, and like I haven't seen Gex, so I'm just gonna wait for you to stream it, and then I'll just know what Gex is. It's so good.
The pre-order should have already happened
so
by
good.
now, and they haven't
Gex
happened.
is Bexed and is back.
No, it's not. It very much isn't.
Anyway, that's my lock of the week, and that's my
What? Hello?
number one game of the
What?
year, unreleased.
No pre-order,
As
no
long as it
release
isn't,
date.
ported poorly, but I have faith in limited run games to not port it poorly.
What?
That's all I got. That's it. Gex.
Dude, what? I don't even think this game has a pulse, bro. You show me that this game has a pulse right now.
So how about you?
Oh, this one can't even hear me.
No.
He didn't hear the Gex slander?
No, I didn't.
Real shit?
I did not.
So I don't even think this game has a pulse. You don't even know what the the pre-orders.
It's alive.
The pre-orders were already supposed to go live.
No, it's fucking happening at the end of the
The
year.
pre-orders were.
You were excited for Gex.
No,
you were interested to play
No,
old game.
I definitely would, but I'm not convinced this game
I hate
exists.
Gex. Oh my god, they gave it a trailer that it's coming out this year.
Yeah, shit gets trailers all the time, and then they don't go anywhere.
No,
Silk
it's
Song
like,
got a
it's
trailer. That game. That is a phantom name.
that's different. That's completely different. It's the same, but it's different.
Well, if you can't beat them, make the game. And by make the game,
I'm gonna
pay somebody else.
I'm gonna make Gex 4. I'm about to make Gex 4.
I'm hoping you would.
I'm gonna be Gex. I'll call him Gax.
I can't even tell if you're doing this as a bit or are you actually excited for?
I'm actually excited for Gex Trilogy.
Right. That's all I know is like I'm excited for Sulfur, and there was a demo for Sulfur, and I know that game is.
Oh man, it took you this long to mention Sulfur.
It never came up during whatever if
He's not excited for Sulfur. He
it
hates
didn't come up in whatever effect name I'm giving Gamescom. But
with an M, actually. Gamescom.
Well, I guess I'll capitalize on it. It's now GameCon. I'm gonna remove the S, add an N. Well, everybody, you squeezed 2 hours out of us. That's like a
Oh, hell yeah. Ultra special, super special guest episode featuring Maelstrom Gaming. Follow me at Twitch.
So any questions that you would like to ask, please put them in the comments.
Please leave the comments. It's important. If you made it this far, leave the comment.
It is you know, no, cut the goddamn music for a second. It's kind of funny to me sometimes being in this like space where you like put out like audio content and you'll get messages from people that like just tell you flat out like, oh no, I use this to like fall asleep. This is like a sleep aid for me.
Oh hell
I
yeah.
use this when I walk. I'm like,
I mean, I was using the season 3 stuff recently, you know, when it was just you to like I'm washing my dishes or like I just put it on when I first wake up. It's easy listening.
you will only get that from Drop Pod. There is literally no other podcast out.
Absolutely. Yeah.
No one else that will provide dry commentary that may or may not sometime sound like Darth Vader. You won't get that anywhere else.
Unofficially.
That made me so sad. That was the first time I ever got like genuine flack. Dude, what is... I was getting messages. What is going on with this episode, bud? Tell me. Is everything okay at home? Yes.
I wanted to message you about it, but you ended up saying something anyway. So I was like, yeah, it did not sound good. I'm glad you decided to go back and were able to fix it.
It definitely hurt.
I listened through the whole thing. I did listen through, or almost the entire thing. I had like, I think 20 minutes left, and I ended up switching to like the new one that you had uploaded, the re-upload.
The algorithm did not like that one.
No.
Deleting that and then putting that back up. Mm-mm.
Yeah. It's okay. We'll get him in the next one.
Better luck next time. The questions you find folks pose will be used in bonus episodes that aren't on Patreon. We don't have that.
Oh.
You guys get the free shits. You guys get.
But Spotify soon TM.
You guys get the Drop Pod at home edition. 20B for bonus. Some of you don't know what B meant.
Does not mean bitch.
No.
You will not get 20 bitches.
No. Only on drop. Anyway. Post them. See you guys next time, and thank you for tuning in.
Take care.